What's up, y'all? I got my intake up here from my VORTEC 454 engine that I'm working on today. This is for my white dually. I ended up getting the injectors out and inspecting all them. They look good. There's all my exhaust shields for the plug wires. I got the valve covers off. I know it looks a little rusty in there because it is, but this thing sat out in the lineup out there for probably just right under a year. This engine and transmission combo only has 65,000 miles. I wanted to change the intake gaskets just because I knew they were probably original, and they were. So I decided to pull it off. Another reason is because one of these intake bolts, the intake bolt that actually holds it to the cylinder head, this one was missing, and I was like, that's weird. When I pulled the upper plenum off in the truck, and the bolt was actually back here, like just sitting in there floating. And I noticed that a few of the other bolts were loose, and I was like, well, I better just go ahead and replace the intake gaskets. And I wanted to anyways, just for peace of mind, really, so I didn't have to work on it in the truck. Not trying to jinx myself, but yeah, so I went ahead and pulled the thermostat housing off. I think I'm going to replace the coolant temp sensor. Obviously, I'm going to replace some heater hoses, water pump. There's a little hose that goes to the intake back here and hooks to the fuel pressure regulator. I'm going to get a new piece of hose for that. I got to get upper plenum gasket. Probably do a throttle body clean out the upper plenum. So basically today, you can see a bunch of oil in there. Pretty much out here today at Dad's for a few hours, and I'm just gonna get this lower intake cleaned up. And I got my cart over here with Chaz. It's kind of messy right now, go figure. I got distributor, front pulleys, AC compressor, my upper plenum with my throttle body. But I want to get all this stuff cleaned up, so I'm just gonna try to make some headway on it, and I'm gonna use up some brake clean. Gonna put a time lapse up of cleaning this intake just for giggles. Let's see how it goes. Here's the upper plenum finished. I got all inside cleaned up really good. The back cleaned up nice. I haven't 100% got the gasket surfaces cleaned yet, but the sides of the intake are good. Everything's good on it now. I put the sensors back in, cleaned up all the bolts and stuff, and then I moved over to the injectors, and I got them just wiped down, cleaned up. I gotta put a zip tie back on this bracket that holds the fuel rail down to the bracket, but I put tape on this main connector and inspected this hose here. for the fuel pressure regulator. I was gonna replace it, but it's good. So obviously this will go kind of like that, and then it'll all bolt back up. So the only thing I'm waiting on to put the injectors back in is I'm gonna go get a new set of these O-rings for it. I might have some in my house, I gotta check, but I have moved on to the upper plenum now, and it's pretty clean, but I'm gonna clean it up even more. This is what you see on the top of the motor, so try to make it look good, and probably gonna do an EGR delete, so I'll make a plate for that and block it off, and then I'll block this off, because whenever I was taking the manifolds off anyways, I absolutely trashed this tube just twisting it. I knew I was gonna destroy it, so I'm gonna probably try to get that off and take it up to the store and get a plug. I gotta get a few other plugs, but yep, about to clean this thing up. I seriously would have been better off just buying a parts washer. Annoying, and I also ran out of brake clean. But I got a lot of the inside pretty much done. There was a lot of hard buildup around the EGR tube and EGR spot, whatever you want to call it. But I got a little bit more work to do inside there. And then I just barely got the top a little bit. Got the I got the back. Probably a bit overkill, but I wanted to get it good. I mean, I figured I might as well get it good while I got it off. So I'll of course give it more attention, and the throttle body too, and get a EGR block off plate made and all that. So I'm gonna make a list, and then I'm pretty much headed back to my place for the day. I'm extremely happy with the way the lower plenum came out. Super cleaned up, nice. So it'll look really good once it's all back on. So yeah, that's it for now.